your mats in that comfortable seated position. And if you are using your peppermint oil, then do just take a drop in the palm of your hand. So in that seated position, you want to make sure your spine is long, shoulders are relaxed. If you're using an oil and you have it in the palm of your hand, just bring that oil up towards the nose and just take a few breaths in. So you're inhaling that oil and just slowing the breath down. So when we use pure essential oils, they get to work within seconds into our bloodstream. As you inhale, just feeling the breath coming in through both nostrils. Feeling the breath expand into the body. And then that slow release as you exhale. Releasing the back of the hands to the knees. So just seeing if you can grow a little taller through your spine. Seeing if you can relax your shoulders a little more. And just take that check-in that you're not clenching the jaw. The tongue is soft. And we're going to make our Vishnu Mudra with our right hand. So we bring in that first finger and middle finger. We bring the hands up towards the nose. Remember, the thumb is for closing the right nostril. The ring finger is for closing the left nostril. Let's inhale with that awareness at the left nostril. Very gently close the left nostril with the ring finger. And exhale out of the right nostril. Inhaling right. Gently closing the right nostril with the thumb. And exhaling left. Inhale left. Gently closing the left nostril, opening the right. And exhale right. Inhaling right. Closing the right and opening the left. And exhale left. So just keep going in your own time. This is a very calming breath to balance the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. I'd like you just to take one more round of breath and finish with the exhalation out of the left nostril. Releasing the right hand back to the knee or the thigh. Dropping the chin down towards the chest. And just very slowly start to roll the head, keeping the eyes closed. Still aware of your breath, but there's no control. And then reverse your circle. Coming back to center. Let your arms feel heavy alongside you. Take an inhale in, bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, and as you exhale, just let the arms go as a sigh out of the mouth. So it's an inhale in and a inhale in. Let the arms feel heavy. Let's do a few more. Two more. Really let the arms go. Last one. Bring your hands onto your shoulders. Draw your elbows towards each other and draw a circle with your arms. So peeling the arms back and forwards. The spine is long. Drawing the elbows in. Taking the elbows out, and let's reverse. Take the elbows out and then draw them in. Moving through the whole of the shoulder joints. And we're going to do one more circle. And release. Just shift away from your support. Take that off your mat and then make sure you have your left knee bent and then your right just in front of it. I'd encourage you to grab your block as well. You can have it quite high up. You can have a few blocks or a blanket. We're going to take a walk forwards. So from here, just start to walk towards your block. Now maybe you bring your elbows to your block and you rest your head in your hands. You're going to feel that stretch into the right glute and the lower back. You decide how far you go. Maybe the forehead comes to the block. There's no right or wrong. You're just listening to your body. Let your shoulders feel heavy. And just acknowledge where you can feel that stretch. Maybe Maybe as you hold, you want to delve a little deeper. Maybe lowering your block, coming down onto the elbows on the ground, and the forehead to the block. Take 2 more breaths here. And then very slowly start to bring yourself back up. Inhale, bring your right arm up. Take your right hand over the head. Relax your left arm down to the ground and just pull the head over to the right. Close the eyes, just stretching down the left side of the neck. Let that left arm and shoulder just feel heavy. Your right hand is that guide. Just finding that edge, that point that feels good. Very slowly, just release. Stretch that right arm up. Bring it down to your mat and take that left arm up and over, bending into your right elbow. Taking that side stretch. Taking another long breath here. And slowly come back up. Let's change the cross of our legs. So bring that right foot in and then the left just in front of it. Grab your block again. And you're going to take that walk. So you decide where that walk brings you. Is it the elbows to the block? Maybe it's the hands to the block. And you're just slowly delving forwards. Listening to what your body's telling you. If you've brought your head down to the block, just see if you can let your shoulders go a little bit more. We're going to stay here for a few more breaths. And then very slowly start to roll back up. Move the arms alongside you. Take that inhale with the left arm. Bring it over the head and just pull the head over to your left side. Close your eyes. Let that right arm just feel heavy. Breathing into the neck and the shoulder. Starting to let go of any clutter in the mind. Slowing those thoughts down. Very slowly release. Dropping that left hand down to your mat. Let's inhale right and just take that into a side stretch. Bending into the left elbow. Maybe reaching a little deeper. Making one more breath. And slowly bring yourself back up. Taking whatever cross you feel with the knees, the legs, bring your hands onto your knees and then just start to draw a circle. So a little bit like you have an imaginary hula hoop around your waist. But we're going to keep that movement quite slow. So you're rolling forwards and then you're sending the spine backwards. Maybe moving a little into the shoulders. Again, maybe closing the eyes, just feeling into the body. Reverse your circle. And last circle here. And release. From here, bring your legs out in front of you. Toes pointing upwards. Let's bend into our left knee. From here, link your fingers under your thigh. And we're going to send the leg out and then in. Just a few times, stretching into that leg and then bending. Let's do one more. Maybe that knee is clicking a little. Plant that foot down and then bring that foot to your inner leg. So right leg is long, left knee is bent. You can always prop that knee with your block. And I would encourage you to have your bolster just in front of you. So you can bring that bolster onto that foot of that left leg. You can stack it with a few blankets and then just start to roll forwards towards that support, dropping the forehead down. Again, you can bring the elbows if you want to. Forehead can be in the hands. You can cross the hands and rest the forehead down. You're going to decide. If you want a deeper stretch, you just remove that bolster. You bring your hands to your foot and you lower down that way. Just take that check-in with how you feel this evening. What does your body need? How far does the body want to go? This is a pose that you're very used to. You probably prefer not to take any support. And once there, we're going to hold. And we're going to delve a little deeper. So as you move through your practice, just starting to delve into one of our yoga limbs, on our 8-limb path, and the limb of Pratyahara, where we start to withdrawing our senses, always being switched on to the outside world, always being connected, always being maybe reachable. Starting to delve into your internal world. This is why it's quite nice just to close our eyes. Bring that awareness of what you can feel, where you can feel it. Taking one more breath. And being mindful as you come out of the pose. And just before you fully release out, just bring that left knee back in. Take that foot over the right leg and just give yourself a hug with your right arm. So you're wrapping your right arm around that left knee. Bring your left hand behind you to the ground, quite close to your spine, and take a twist and a turn towards your left shoulder, pushing your right heel away. Taking that check in that the spine is long, you're not collapsing, you're lifting up. Massaging through all of the internal organs. Turn the head back to centre first, and then slowly the body, and release. Take a bend into both legs, plant your feet down, bring both hands behind you, leaning back on the hands, and just take a drop of the knees right and left. Just doing that one more time. Coming back to centre. Send both legs long. Just make sure you're sitting evenly on the glutes. And we're going to go on to our right side. So bending the right leg. We have that cradle with the hands, bringing the hands under the thigh, extending the leg long, and then bending it in. Just doing this a few times. Your hands are supporting that leg. To lengthen and to bend. Let's do one more. We're now going to bring that foot to the inner thigh. Remember, we can prop with our block under that knee. We can even take a strap around that foot, or we're grabbing our support, bringing it towards us and taking that walk down that support, resting the head, resting the arms. And checking in with this side, how it feels. You're taking a trip through your body. Your body is telling you what it's holding on to and where. You're giving it the space and the time to release. Let's rest here for a little longer. When you feel ready, take that roll back up. Draw that knee back in and send the legs long. Let's just roll through our toes, squeezing and releasing the toes and the ankles. Just a few times, working both ways. You can just about see my toes on the screen, but you know what to do. Last one. Really give those toes a squeeze and a wiggle. And release. So let's come onto our hands and our knees in our table. And we are going to be coming into our pigeon pose. So I would encourage you to have your bolster at the top of your mat. So hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Just before we come into pigeon, just move your bolster towards the top of your mat. Bring your hands onto your bolster. Keep your hips high and drop your forehead. In fact, you will need your block. Drop your forehead to your block. So your hands are reaching long. They're on top of your bolster. Your hips stay high in what we call puppy pose. So you're getting that lovely stretch along your arms and your shoulders. See if you can let the fingers soften, so there's no gripping, just resting. See if you can breathe into that space in the middle of the back and the shoulders. breaths here. Bringing your hands down onto your mat, you slowly push yourself back up. So you're back in that table. Let's shift our left knee forward towards our hands, our left big toe to the side of our mat, and walk your right leg back as far as you can. So you have a few options here with your support. You can bring it close to that knee. You can rest your arms down and drop your chin down to that support. You can push that support away again, bringing your hands down and your head to your block or your mat. Or maybe just let go of that support, cross the arms, bring the forehead to the hands or the mat. So really choose what feels best today. Take a little wiggle side to side, so push into your right hip. Your left heel should be at your right hip. And then push slightly into your left hip. Maybe moving a little side to side, just for a moment. And then I want you to pick, do you want to hold on one side? Or does it feel good just to stay central? And we're going to rest wherever you've chosen. Remember, our mind likes talking to us, so if you are finding it's quite active, just see if you can let those thoughts drift away. Always bring your awareness to an affirmation. That awareness just of the sensation of the breath. When you feel ready, just take your time, slowly walking the hands back up. Roll onto that left hip, draw your right knee in and come back to your table. From here, I want you to take that roll again through the hips. So that imaginary ring around the waist, just rolling the spine up and down. Really moving what way feels good. And then reversing that roll. last one here. Coming back to table. So we've got our other side to do, so let's shift our right knee forward, big toe side of the mat, and we walk our left leg back so the right heel just dips into that left hip bone. You decide where you're bringing your support, if you're using it, as you lower down. No right or wrong. You always know your body best. Once there, take that little shift side to side again, that little check-in. One hip feeling tighter. Is that where you need to hold? Delve deeper. Or does it feel good just to stay central? And then find that stillness in your pose. A few more breaths. And very slowly bring yourself back up. Hands either side of that knee. We're going to step back into our table one last time. And this time I'm going to get you to bring your hands further forward on your mat and draw a circle so you sit towards your right heel, your left, and over each wrist. Dropping the hips towards your mat. Again, just closing the eyes. Breathing all the way into the belly. If you need that sigh out of the mouth, then take it. And then reverse your circle. And from here, just bring the big toes together, take your knees a little wider and sit back to the heels, dropping the forehead down into child's pose. One more breath. And then rolling slowly upwards. So we're going to come to kneeling. If kneeling is not comfortable for you, you can be cross-legged. But I'd encourage you just to grab your block and sit on it, because that does take that pressure off a little. You're going to have your bolster just in front of you and bring it between the knees. So you can take your knees quite wide. You may need your yoga belt here as well. So we're going to bring our right hand around our back and just bring it between our shoulder blades. We then inhale and bring that left arm up, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then bend at the elbow and take hold of our right hand. So our fingers are meeting, or we're holding our block, not our block, sorry, our strap between our hands. So do grab that support if you need it, that support of your strap. Now you can stay just where you are, right elbow pointing down, left elbow pointing up, or if you want to take it further, you drop down to your bolster and you turn your left ear down to that support. Breathing in to the shoulders and the neck. Again, it's optional. If you come down and you think, oh, I don't like it, you come back up. Let's hold and breathe. If you've come down to your support, then slowly make your way back up. And then release the arms. Bring the palms together and just rotate the wrists. So just rotating round and then the opposite way. So we're going to reverse that. So now you have your left arm going back between the shoulder blades. So you want to take it as high as you can up that back. And you reach up with that right arm, stretch up high, and then bend at the elbow. Let the hands meet or grab your strap. We can stay just where we are, or we can fold. Drop our right ear down to that support. Breathing into the shoulders and the neck. came down, just slowly bring the body back up. Release the arms, and this time just bring the arms out in front of you and open and close the fingers. And then take the arms behind, link the fingers behind you, pull the arms down the back, and you have that option of just moving the arms away from the lower back. So keep your gaze forward, just squeezing into the shoulder blades. And release. So let's work a little into our backs. So I'm going to encourage you to put a block at the top of your mat for your head, and then your bolster in the middle of your mat. So for the block of your head, you can put a little blanket there as well. We want to feel supported in our practice. So we're going to come and sit down on our mats, take a bend into our legs, just push that bolster slightly away so it's not on your lower back. And then we're going to roll back. That bolster is going to be around our middle back, and that block is for our head. So you can have your head support quite high, or if you quite like that tip of the head where you open into the throat, you can have it more like I have it. Your arms are going to be out to the side but over your bolster. So they don't want to be on it, we want to open our arms, palms facing upwards. So we get that lovely stretch through the middle of the back. Make your head support as comfortable as you need it. You can keep the legs bent, you can take the legs long. You decide. You can even bring the soles of the feet together if that feels best. Let your eyes close. As you inhale and exhale, see if you can expand into the space of the chest and the heart. As you inhale and exhale, bring your awareness to the heart. And bringing your awareness to the importance of self-care. It's very easy to maybe get off track with self-care. Maybe through busy life, many demands. Maybe we start to let time for ourselves slip. Maybe not eating the right foods, taking exercise or getting enough sleep. And this starts to take toll on our body, on our mind. So Just taking this little check-in here. Is there anything you need to change? Make sure you have that time for self-care. Just taking one more breath here. And using your hands and arms to slowly bring yourself back up. So remove your bolster, but keep it close by. We are going to keep the block for our head, but again, just move it away from your mat. And I'd like you to lie all the way down so your back is flat on your mat with your knees bent. Bring your arms alongside you. Take an inhale in and just peel the spine away from your yoga mat, rolling upwards. Keep the chin tucked in. Holding in bridge pose. Take an inhale in, and as you exhale, just see if you can place the spine back down to your mat really slowly. Base of the spine is the last thing to come down. Once there, draw both knees into your chest and squeeze them in. Taking a little roll side to side. Then in the left leg, go long on your mat now. Just hold in the right knee. Squeeze it in. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let that left hand guide your right knee over to your left side, rolling onto your left hip, maybe turning the gaze to the right, and opening up into that right arm, palm facing upwards. Let your eyes close. Sending the breath along the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. When you feel ready, slowly bring the body back. No rush, take your time. Let the right leg go long on your mat and squeeze and hug in the left knee. Right hand is the guide to draw that knee over to the right side. And then move that left arm away, palm facing upwards. Maybe turning the head, closing the eyes. Maybe just noticing the mind is starting to drift a little further inwards, feeling more present, feeling more in tune with your body. Feeling that space between each breath. Feeling that sense of calmness. There's nothing you have to do. There's nowhere that you have to be. You're just right in this moment. And when you're ready, just roll very slowly back to center. Pick up your block and just place it underneath your head. Let the rest of the body come into Shavasana. So the legs are long, the arms are long, feet just falling to the side, palms facing up. I'm going to take a little massage through the head. So start to roll the head slightly over to the right. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels okay for you. And just pushing the head into the block a little firmer. Finding any points of tension. Maybe resting there. Tiniest of movements. Going all the way over to the right side. As far as you can. It feels good. And then resting there. And the whole head just feel heavy. When you feel ready, making your way back to center. Checking in with any points that need that hold, that attention. And then slowly moving over to the left side. Going as far as feels good. Maybe just acknowledging here the things that give you that self-care. Maybe it's a walk in nature. Maybe it's finding time for your practice. Maybe it's coffee with a friend. Or picking up a book. I say the ideal balance is 10% of your day dedicated to self-care. So that's around 90 minutes. And whether those 90 minutes are broken down into 20-minute segments or 10-minute segments. The results of taking that 10% allows the rest of your day to flow with much more ease. When you feel ready, make your way back to center. Take a bend into your legs. Roll yourself onto one side. We're going to come to seated just for a moment. And this is where you can grab a calming oil. You can also grab something to sit on if you prefer. And if you are using an oil, just take it in the palm of your hand and apply it to where you feel drawn to. So maybe it's the neck and the shoulders, maybe the soles of the feet, wherever you feel drawn to. We're going to practice just a minute of meditation. If this is something you struggle with, it can be bringing a candle just in front of you and keeping your gaze on that candle. If you feel more comfortable to close your eyes, then close your eyes. Relax your hands and your arms. Relax your shoulders. Let the jaw soften. Adjust yourself so you can just be still. Bringing your awareness to maybe the natural flow of the breath, or maybe a mantra. As we take this stillness, this is when our subconscious mind starts to open. This is a good time to visualize your dreams, your goals, your affirmation. The subconscious mind is ready to receive what we plant here. We think, we feel, we give out. And what we give out, we receive back. We are coming to the end of our practice, so either staying where you are or lying down now in Shavasana, covering yourself with a blanket, grabbing some support. You feel really comfortable and warm. Just allowing yourself to be completely still. Allowing the body to feel completely calm. As you rest in your chosen position, I'd like you to come back to an affirmation, a goal, or desire. Just see it right in front of you. Just standing, looking at this goal, desire. Now I'd like you to visualize any fears, any doubts, any limiting self-talk. And see these words, these thoughts, these emotions just forming a huge ball just behind your goal or wish or desire. Maybe this ball is quite small, maybe it's huge, filled with all of these negative things. And as this ball is formed, you're going to walk right up to it and give it a huge kick and see it travelling further and further away from you. Letting go those limiting thoughts and beliefs. ball is getting smaller and smaller and smaller until you can no longer see it anymore. All you can now see is your goal, your desire, your wish, right in front of you as it's already here. You can touch it, you can feel it. Nothing is going to get in the way of that wish or desire. The more we practice these calming tools, our yoga, our meditation, the more we open the subconscious mind to bring us closer to these wishes, goals, desires. So allow yourself to rest here now for as long as you need. And as you get into bed this evening, I'd like you to once again visualize what you've just visualized now, something you're working on, just as you drift off to sleep. And this again is when this part of our mind is wide open, when we wake, when we drift off to sleep, and when we meditate.